this was more of a journey than I thought it would be. I honestly thought that I would get the freeze dryer, plug it in, do like a first batch for you guys and just like show you how excited it is, but it's been a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay, there she is. So excited. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me in this video. I am so excited because today we are unboxing this right here. This is an appliance I've been wanting for at least 6 months, maybe even longer, maybe even a year. I know I have been wanting one, but I never really saw a need for it until like everything that happened in the past year or so with the pandemic, and then also with the ice apocalypse that we went through in February. And so I decided this summer that, you know, it would be a really good investment. This is the Harvest Right freeze dryer. I just think that it's really cool to be able to have food that you don't have to store in the refrigerator. It can be stored at room temperature and also can be eaten with just some hot water. I will do a video that explains further why we got this. I know that it is there's a long list. I ordered this, I want to say like a couple weeks ago. We got really lucky that it came super quick, but right as it arrived, my family got here, and so we've been hanging out with them, so I haven't had a chance to unbox it yet. This is already paying for itself because we had a ton of leftovers when my parents left. So I went ahead and froze everything that I could. And I think that by doing so, I'll probably be able to utilize this and freeze dry everything. I kind of want to test out some recipes as well. Let's go ahead and unbox this and see how it comes. I don't have a stand for it just yet, but my goal is to kind of put it in this corner. It's like right next to the door right here, which leads to our kitchen pretty much. So I can come out here and use it whenever I need it. So it looks like we have firmware troubleshooting guide. Here's a guide to freeze drying. Owner's manual. Here's some pump oil. We also have the vacuum pump. This is an oil filtration system. Oh, that's nice that they include that now. I was actually gonna buy one. This is the impulse sealer. And then we have some hose and the electrical power cord. Oxygen absorbers. These are like labeled really well. I didn't think it was gonna be packaged this well. Some Mylar bags, which will be very helpful. And then lastly, we have 4 trays that will come with the machine. These are the medium trays because that's the machine I got. While I was back there, I went ahead and flipped the switch to turn the freeze dryer on, which is why you see this screen right here. So next we need to do a functional test. So it looks like you have to push this to test out the freeze function. Now we're supposed to let it freeze for 30 minutes or more, and then we'll come back. So I had to pause everything last night because the machine was telling me that it was too hot in my garage. So I moved the freeze dryer to the spare room that we have, and going to try everything here just because it's been really hot here in Texas, and I guess you really can't run the machine in a room that's over 90 degrees. Hopefully this works out a little bit better because it's a little bit cooler here than in our garage. So right now, as you guys can see, we're doing the functional testing. I have the freeze going on right here, and apparently that's supposed to do it for about 30 minutes and get down to 50 degrees, and once that happens I can kick on the vacuum. Those are pretty much the tests that you need to get started with. So it's been on the freeze test for over 30 minutes. Now I can switch on the vacuum. Sometimes it takes a second. There we go. Sounds really loud. They want you to keep it on for 20 to 30 minutes or until this reaches 500 mTOR. Not sure if I said that correctly. So it's only been about 7 minutes, but the pressure has already reduced to below 500. So I'm gonna go ahead and just conclude this test and just push done. There we go. And that should be it. That concludes the functional test. All right, so I am putting bread in for the first batch. This is kind of like the burn batch, I guess, because it kind of has like a new car or like new machine smell to it. So if you put regular food in that you actually want to eat, it's going to kind of absorb those odors. So I just put the bread in here. I sprayed it with a little bit of water because it says you want to have like soggy bread. So now that that's in there, it says go to the home screen, press start. Okay, and now it's freezing. I really like how it walks you through everything. So it's like actually very user friendly. I thought that I would be really intimidated by it, but it seems a lot easier than I thought. Okay, so it's been freezing for, I want to say the past hour and 20 minutes. Now it is vacuum freezing. So I just heard a noise, a really loud noise from the other room. I came in here just to see if everything's okay. And then it just pretty much switched from freezing to vacuum freezing. The pump actually runs really hot, and so it heated up the room, so I definitely needed to cool it down. I know a lot of people mentioned getting fans, and I think that's something that I'm going to get, like a small fan to just concentrate on the pump and maybe even on the machine. The machine isn't too bad. So we have made it past the vacuum freezing, and now we're into the drying process. I'm not sure if you guys can see the bread in there. It definitely is looking a lot thinner than it did, and then also I'm not seeing any of the ice crystals that were in there during the vacuum freezing process. Alright, so we are in our final dry stage. Total elapsed time is 3 hours and 35 minutes. It looks like there's going to be 2 hours left in the final dry. As you guys can see, it's telling me that the room temperature is too high. Hey everyone, we are back. It's actually been like a week and a half, 2 weeks since I initially ran the bread run, and that actually ended up shorting a circuit. So I was afraid to run the machine again because the outlet that I was on didn't have enough power to run it, and I didn't want to mess up the machine or like have a fire hazard or anything. So I looked into it, and I guess the freeze dryer needs its own designated 20 amp outlet, just like any other appliance, like your refrigerator, oven, all that stuff. Like all of those have their own designated circuits. So I had to call an electrician, and luckily we found an electrician that was highly recommended here in the neighborhood, and he was able to come out today. It was still like a week and a half, so it took a while. But he came this morning and installed the designated circuit in this closet here. So Jordan actually had a really good idea of, instead of designating this entire room to the freeze dryer, we would just designate this closet. Hopefully it stays cool in there. I'm actually thinking about doing some stuff to try to get the room to cool down a little bit more. Now I am going to put a cart in here, but it's sold out right now, so I'm waiting for the cart to come back in stock. So that's why it's on the pallet still. And here is the outlet that was installed by the electrician today. So yeah, that was the whole reason for the holdup with this. I honestly thought that once I got the machine, I would just, you know, be able to get started with it, and that was definitely not the case. We are also going on a road trip to Arizona for 4th of July weekend, and so I'm not gonna be able to freeze dry. So I literally have like 30 something hours to get the first load in here because I want to bring some snacks for the road. So I'm gonna try to get some fruits and maybe some candy in here to hopefully freeze dry by the time we have to leave. And then that will be my first batch. So I'm going to go ahead and prep everything right now. Okay, so here are the first 2 trays. I have some strawberries, jackfruit, mango, there's more mango over here, and then pineapple. So I'm gonna put these two in and then probably get some apples onto the next tray, and then I really wanna try some candy as well. So that is going to be it for the first run. Says extreme room temperature. Honestly, I don't think it's that hot in here. So I don't know why this is saying this. I'm gonna have to call them about it. Until then, I'm just gonna keep going because the room is very cool. Okay, so here's the current setup. It's a little bit crazy right now. We have this fan that's supposed to be for the garage in here, blowing air into the closet to increase the circulation. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day. I'm gonna actually go and check on the freeze dryer, but since it's so loud in there, I just wanted to kind of check in here and give you a heads up that it is gonna be loud in there. It's been, I wanna say like 14 or 15 hours since I initially started the machine. It's on its final dry right now, so hopefully there's not too much more time, because I would like to get like another batch in there if I can before tomorrow morning when we leave. I'm not sure if we're gonna have enough time. It just depends when this is done. But anyway, let's go in and check it out. It is finally done. Yay! So I went ahead and opened up the drain valve here. That's on open setting. Nothing's drained out yet, but I'm thinking that's needed in the defrost setting. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Can't even recognize those anymore. I mean, they feel pretty dry to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that that's done. Just because we're gonna be eating these tomorrow. It's just done. Oh, I think it needs more time. This one isn't done yet. I tasted a couple of the fruit, the freeze-dried fruit, because I wanted to see if it was done or not. Being able to freeze-dry our own fruit that I know is sweet and like ripe makes such a huge difference. I didn't try everything yet. I'm gonna wait for Jordan to come home. I'm hoping that it's not going to soak up any moisture in the air, and then I have the rest of it going again because the pineapple wasn't done yet. Excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So in here I have pineapple, mangoes, jackfruit, peaches, apples, bananas, strawberries, Skittles, and then gummy worms.
Nice. Just go to town?
Yes. So the gummy worms are, it's like sweet and sour, so one is sweet and one is sour. And it kind of got soggy a little bit.
What the heck?
Skittles.
You see this?
So the strawberry, it looked like it was pretty dry, but inside of it wasn't. So I'm glad that we put it in for a little bit longer. These aren't as crispy as when they came out, so I need to definitely put an oxygen absorber in there because they soak up moisture in the air.
Whoa. Have you tried the Skittles yet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have?
They're really good.
Have you tried this yet?
Mm-mm. So remember, one is sour and one is sweet.
That one's sour. Man. Oh. I think it gets more sour.
Yeah, that one's the sweet one. It's such an interesting flavor.
It's so sour. I'm telling you, man. It gets more sour,
It
right?
does. What's your favorite so far?
Probably the banana.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Looks like a french fry.
Mm-hmm. There's no oil or anything in here. It's just fruit. It's definitely like a fun snack and way healthier than like chips, but it has that same crispiness. Mm-hmm. Well, some of them do.
Have you tried banana?
Mm-hmm. It's really good. Well, cool. Thanks for doing this taste test with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so since the freeze-dried fruit that I took out of the freeze dryer initially soaked up so much of the moisture in the air, I am going to pull out the impulse sealer, the oxygen absorbers, and then also the Mylar bags, because I want to pack all this food for tomorrow and I want to share it with Jordan's family when we see them. So hopefully they'll last a little bit longer. All right, so I have the last 2 trays here that I extended the drying time on, and these have been in for about 24 hours after their initial run that like the machine stopped on its own. I had to dry it 2 more times. I'm going to go ahead and package this up before it absorbs any of the moisture in the air. So now that I've gone through pretty much our first batch of freeze drying, I want to take some time to reflect on my experience with the Harvest Right freeze dryer and how I feel about it so far, because it's been quite the journey. When I first found out about the Harvest Right freeze dryer, I loved the idea, but of course it was such a huge investment that I didn't jump on it at that moment. So I waited, I wanted to do more research, I wanted to see if I can actually use the freeze dryer. And it took me about 6 months to a year, I forget the time frame, but throughout that entire time I kept finding more and more and more positives to get the freeze dryer. And I will cover all my reasons for getting the freeze dryer in a different video. I was gonna do it in this video, but it would be just way too long. But I finally pulled the trigger and ordered the freeze dryer, I wanna say end of May or so, and it arrived like beginning of June. My family was in town, I didn't really have a chance to open it and try it out then. After they left, I went ahead and opened the freeze dryer and tried to use it. And to my surprise, I couldn't use it in my garage because, you know, here in Texas, it would get up to 90 degrees, 90 to 100 degrees. And I kept getting the high room temperature warning out in the garage. And so I figured I would bring it inside where it's air conditioned, and I put it in one of our spare rooms thinking that would be fine. So I did that, I plugged it in, I did the bread run and everything, and that was going fine until it tripped the breaker or the circuit in there. And then I did a little bit of research because I didn't want to keep running it if it was like bad for the machine or anything. And I found out that the freeze dryer needs its own dedicated 20 amp circuit. So I called an electrician. I wasn't able to get an electrician to come out for about a week and a half or so. So that kind of like stalled it a little bit. It cost me about $260 to have the electrician come out to install the dedicated circuit, and I got lucky because it just happened that the breaker was on the other side of the wall. Had it been anywhere else in our house, it would have been more expensive because they would have had to run it like up in the attic. After that, I went ahead and plugged in the machine, I ran it, and I kept getting the high temperature warning on the machine. So I brought in fans and it still wasn't lowering the temperature enough. And I think it's partially because the room is small, and then I also had it in a smaller closet, so it wasn't a lot of air circulation. That's why I brought the fan in, but it really didn't help at all. So I'm thinking I'm going to need like a portable AC unit or something like that to put in that room specifically, and hopefully that will lower the temperature enough for the machine to run without any issues. If we have to buy the AC unit on top of it, that's gonna be at least, I looked up the prices, at least like $500 to $700 more just to run this machine. That's not even including the electricity that it would take to run both the air conditioner and this machine. It's a lot more of a hassle than I anticipated. Now at the end of the day, I feel like if we can figure out all these hurdles and everything, I think it'll be worth it still. I think that this technology is amazing and it's wonderful to have, but it's just costing me a lot more than I had anticipated. So I wanted to just kind of share this experience with you guys. Hopefully if you are looking into getting the Harvest Right freeze dryer also, you wouldn't be blinded by this as well, because I thought I did a lot of research into this machine. I literally watched a ton of videos. I joined every single Facebook group available for the Harvest Right freeze dryer, and I never came across any of this information that I found out after having the machine, after spending, you know, $2,800, $2,900 on this machine, after spending $260 on an electrician. and then going to have to spend more money on the AC unit, probably more fans, because the fan that we have in the room right now, it's a garage fan and it's way too loud for the house because it literally is all that we've been hearing the past like 24 hours. Jordan has been very patient, luckily. And he's been very encouraging, so I'm very appreciative that he's so willing to entertain my, you know, hobbies. I also need to get a cart for the freeze dryer, which is gonna be probably another $100 or so, $100 to $200 depending on the cart. So everything is adding up, but I want to share this experience with you guys because I don't want you guys to think that, yeah, you're gonna be spending, you know, $2,900 or probably less or more depending on which unit you get, but then that's all you're gonna be spending. You're gonna be spending a lot more. But hopefully once we get everything figured out, then it'll eventually pay for itself with all the food that we save and all the food that we're able to use freeze-dried. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't know, this was more of a journey than I thought it would be. I honestly thought that I would get the freeze dryer, plug it in, do like a first batch for you guys and just like show you how excited it is, but it's been a lot. So anyway, let me know if you're interested in this type of content. I know it's very different from what my channel is normally about, but this is a, you know, fashion, beauty, and lifestyle channel, and this is part of my lifestyle right now. If you have any questions about the freeze dryer, or if you want me to make any specific videos regarding the freeze dryer, let me know in the comment section below. I know that it is a huge investment, so if there's anything that I can do to help you out, I would love to help you out on that front. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't done so already, be sure to click on that subscribe button right there and hit that bell notification so you can see more videos like this. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.